Hello, and welcome to Scratch Paper, a writing-related podcast. My name is Alicia de los Reyes, and this is episode 18. In this episode, I'm going to talk about marketing for writers and the things that I've done to market my own work. But before we get into that, I want to give you a quick writing and reading update. So writing-wise, I just finished writing about 1,500 new words on my new novel, which is pretty exciting, and it was really fun to write, so that's good. And Finding Lucy, my novel, is still out on submission. It's been rejected by a lot of publishers, which is really sad, but should be going out to small presses soon, so that's exciting. For reading, I have had a great string of reading. I've really enjoyed Rhys Bowen's Her Royal Spyness series. So Rhys, R-H-Y-S, Bowen is a mystery writer, and this series, Her Royal Spyness, takes place in the 30s, and it's about a woman who's like 35th in line for the crown, and all of the titles in the series are like really cheesy puns, but the mysteries are really fun to read, and once I start one, I can't stop. I stayed up late last night to finish the last one that I read, and which I've only done like twice since my baby was born. So they're great. I love them. They're super well researched in addition to being like easy to read and really fun. Like you get to find out the details of what it's like to be a royal-ish woman in this time period, which is a really interesting time period to me. It's like the same Downton Abbey era. So yeah, highly recommend Rhys Bowen. Love her mysteries. So let's go ahead and get into the lesson. So I'm calling this marketing for writers, but really, like I said, I'm going to talk about my experience marketing and the things that I've tried, and give you what I hope are some useful takeaways and a useful approach. So first, I want to mention that I decided to make this podcast, even though a lot of other people have written and talked about marketing for writers, because I had this realization. And the realization is this. In a lot of blog posts and podcasts or things written about marketing, whether it's for writers or anybody else, the narrative often goes like this. It goes, I tried this and this and this and this, and finally thing X worked. And maybe thing X is like, get on Instagram and use these hashtags, or get on Twitter, or start a podcast, like whatever it is. And so the person kind of talks then about how to do thing X and how you can do it. And we the readers, we pay attention to thing X too. We're like, okay, here's what I need to do. I need to get on Instagram. I need to start blogging, or whatever it is. But my realization was that there's no such thing as a silver bullet. That all those other things leading up to thing X, we should pay attention to that part of the story more than we should pay attention to thing X. So if the person says, I tried this and this and this and this, that part is actually the important part of the story, because that shows that they tried a whole bunch of different things and kept at it until it worked. So, it's difficult for me to keep this attitude myself in my own writing, right? Because there's no guarantee of success. But I do think it's important that trying new things and consistency are the things that lead to success. Because everybody can try new things and be consistent. Like, you have that in your power. I mean, maybe you don't have as much time to do it as you'd like, but you have some time, and you can devote that time to trying new things and being consistent, instead of trying to find the silver bullet. Because that's what really bothers me, is you can't try and find a silver bullet, right? Like, you can't try and be an overnight success, but you can try to be consistent, and you can also try new things. So, that is where I'm coming from. That is why I decided to record this podcast. So those are the two most important things that I want you to understand from all that I'm saying here, which is, I think the most important thing you can do for your marketing is to try different things and be consistent in trying different things. So I don't mean that you have to like try everything. I mean, you can if you have the time, go for it. But I certainly don't have the time to try everything. But like when something comes along and it excites me, I give it a shot. Because I think that a lot of times I see people have success and it's because they were kind of like the first whatever. So like the bloggers that I follow now were kind of like the earliest craft bloggers because I read a lot of craft blogs. The people who are like, this isn't always true by any means, but like a lot of people who are like the people who have been around longest, it seems to me sometimes, just tend to have success because they were there and people could find them in the beginning. So, that's how I think trying new things can help you. And, being consistent, I just mean sticking with either trying new things or with the things that you like. So like I have had a blog now for several years, and even though I haven't blogged on it like every single week or even every single month, I still like have the same blog, and I try and kind of keep all my writing things there. So yeah. So those are the two lessons that I think are the most important thing to keep in mind when marketing. And I hope they make sense. I would love to hear if you have questions or if you disagree. So now I am going to share a bit more like of a specific example about why I think that this approach is worthwhile. So a caveat, I'm not like super successful. I'm not trying to say that I am. I'm just trying to say that the success that I do have has come from this approach. So I've been on Twitter for a couple years now, or I guess several years now, like 5 years. And I have about 350 followers. So like I said, I'm not trying to claim that that is a huge number. It's not. A lot of people have many more followers than that. But 350 is definitely more than like my immediate family. So I have some strangers who listen to the things that I tweet about on Twitter. And never in those 5 years have I had a spike like overnight 100 new followers. I've never had a huge spike. I probably have never even had a spike of like 20 new followers. When I gain new followers, it's like 1 new follower today, 5 new followers over like the next few weeks. Like I've built my following very slowly. And the reason that this makes me say that you should just kind of try a bunch of different things and be consistent is because all the different things I've done have gotten me new followers. Since I've never had any big spike, there was never any one thing that I was like, oh, this is what I should latch on to. This is the thing that has given me success. And yet I have managed to get 350 followers. I mean, it's not like 1 million followers, but it's more than I think I would have expected if you had asked me a couple years ago. So basically, I'm saying, just to drive the point home, there's no such thing as an overnight success. Or there are overnight successes, but that's not the kind of thing you can like try to replicate. So like if that happens to you, awesome, great. I am super happy for you. I wish it would happen to me too. But like I can't aim for overnight success. So I'm more interested in things that I can try to do, that I can have some control over. So that being said, now I'm going to share with you all the things that I have tried to do, or as many of the things that I could remember, that I've done to market myself. And when I say market myself, I guess I should be a bit more specific. So my big overarching goal since like getting on the internet has always been to get a traditional book deal and to make my living as a writer. So my approach to those two goals has definitely changed. Even like the type of writing I do has changed, but that has always been my goal. So, I've talked in other podcasts about paths to publication. And so like there's a lot of different paths. And this just happens to be my particular one. So my marketing has been for 3 things, really. The first 2 are my ebooks, DIY Writing Retreat and DIY Chicklet, which are Kindle ebooks, and they're also now PDFs that I'm selling on Etsy. So those are the first two things that I tried to market. And then the third thing is a lot more nebulous, but I think it's probably one that a lot of you guys are maybe trying, which is the trying to get a traditional book deal. So marketing myself as a writer. And so whether that means building my credentials by getting publications, increasing the number of readers to my blog or listeners to my podcast, growing the number of newsletter subscribers I have, all those things will build my platform and, show publishing companies that I am a writer worth publishing, and also build my future reader base, right? Assumably, if all these people are subscribing to my newsletter and they like my writing, one day they might buy my book. So those are the three things that I have marketed. And I've done they're kind of interconnected. So the ebooks, I tried to do a really kind of professional job making them. I did them with my friend who's an editor, and she designed the covers because I'm not a graphic designer, and because I wanted my internet presence to look like a professional writer always. So that is kind of part of my marketing. And so the ebooks are even connected to my goal to get a traditional book deal. And a lot of the things that I've done, I think, will probably benefit both my ebook sales and my platform as a potential, as an aspiring novelist, let's say, because it's all it's all my voice. Everything I do is in my voice. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing to talk about, and I think that's one reason why there's so much written about it, because it's really hard to get a handle on what it is you're trying to do as a writer on the internet. So, okay, all that being said, here are the things that I have tried to market my work. So the first thing I did was build a website. I did this when I was in grad school, and I was taking on my very first project, which I thought would be my thesis, but it didn't end up being it, which was going to be about craft blogging and how it's the DIY era. So I built a website and I started blogging on it. So at the very beginning, I blogged about the project, which was called Craft Book Project. And I think that was the name of my website for a while. And I tried to make that look kind of professional too. I had my brother design a header for it. That was fun. And so I built a website. Very first thing I did. Then I started taking a survey of craft bloggers, which doesn't sound like marketing, but it let me kind of get to talk to a lot of people and have a reason to talk to them and have them follow me because maybe they were interested in this project, which was fun. And to market that, I participated in a Twitter chat, and I think that actually got me a big spike of surveys. There was something called handmade chat. I forget what it was, but somebody in that chat, one of the organizers, tweeted out the link to the survey, and then I got a bunch of surveys from that. That was really awesome. I talked in person at a craft conference about this survey that I did. And so all that got me kind of started tweeting regularly. So I had my Twitter account, but and I started to use it, I guess is what I'm saying. And that's the thing that's lasted, even though this craft project kind of died. Other things that I did, I made some really awesome business cards that were really crafty looking. I sewed them up and stamped on them. And that was a really great tie into the project, I thought, and I had a lot of fun handing those out. So I'm always up for something that's crafty and fun that's related to my writing. Another thing that's kind of like that is I made zines just recently around Christmas time. I made this one-page zine, which I also gave away on my site for a while, but I just folded them up, copied them, folded them up, and put them in a bunch of little free libraries around my neighborhood, and that was super fun too. Other things that I've done, I got on Instagram, which I don't know if that's helped me get any like newsletter subscribers, but it has gotten me some new podcast listeners. I made a video with a blogger to advertise one of my ebooks, and I sent out a lot of ebooks to other bloggers. That was what got me, I think, any ebook sales at all, was sending out my ebook for review to other bloggers. And this was, I guess, 3 years ago now. And it was a lot of work to find book bloggers who would review my books, and to send it out took a lot of time, but they would review it, and they gave it a good, nice review. I didn't get any like super negative ones, and that is how I think a lot of people found my ebooks, and have since found them. So I started a newsletter, which I mentioned. I still have that. It's on my website, and right now it just sends out basically the show notes and whatever I post on my blog. And I've written for a lot of different blogs. So I've written for a writing blog called The Right Life, which has gotten me a lot of podcast listeners. So if you found me through The Right Life, I'm so glad you did. And I've also written for like other book review sites. I think I had a column on a Chicklet site for a while, or it was weheartwriting.com. That was when I had just written DIY Chicklet. That was fun. And I've also just written articles, period, like nonfiction and for local papers. So that's kind of the more like nebulous, like get my name out there, get some more publications to show that I am truly a writer. Other things, I've been to writing conferences. Like I went to AWP, which is the Association for Writers and Writing Programs, which I would say is like more traditional networking, not very fun for me. I've participated in Pitch Madness on Twitter. I talked about that in the episode about how I found my agent. I've kept in touch with my writing friends. They've helped me try to, like, they sent me agents who they had met at conferences who might be interested in my work. Also have encouraged me to write, which is the important thing. And I have entered a lot of writing contests, especially for short stories. And I entered my novel in a couple of book contests, maybe only one or two. And I've pitched columns to small and large publications. I got one column in a magazine called Alt Magazine, and I also wrote for the Pathos Network, which is a blog network that has all different kinds of religions included in there. There's blogs about all different kinds of religions. So I wrote a blog for them for a while that was called Surprising Faith, and it was about kind of like unexpected instances of Christianity or Christians doing unexpected things. So that was writing for like a bigger network. And other kind of the last marketing thing that I did was redesign the cover for my ebook. So my original Chicklet cookbook cover had like a person on it, but it wasn't really visible. And so I had my friend redesign it with just a cupcake on the front and the title. And then we made DIY Writing Retreat look the same. It has a tent with pencils for the tent stakes and the title. And I'm thinking about redesigning them again. I'm working on another ebook called Suck It Up and Revise. And I'm thinking it's kind of all a series together. I mean, you can, of course, read them individually. They're not like interconnected, but they are all about writing. And so I am thinking about redesigning the covers again because you can't really see the titles very well on Amazon when it's a thumbnail. So those are a lot of things that I have tried. I hope it gives you some ideas for things that you might try. Things that I've thought about trying but did not actually try or kind of tried. I really wanted to be on Periscope and do like live video casting. And I had this great idea that I was like going to do lessons, maybe like weekly writing lessons, just like short somethings And I would just kind of do them every week at the same time and see if people were interested in them. But the couple times that I tried to go on Periscope and broadcast myself, I was absolutely terrified, and I totally was not expecting that. Periscope is not the friendliest platform. People will say mean things on it. There's a lot of trolls. And also I think just for me, the terrible fear of video showing my face to the world is crippling, and especially without the ability to edit or fix or delete anything. So I didn't go on Periscope, but I still think that is a great idea. You should think about it if you're into making videos, because I don't think there's too many how to write videos on Periscope, and probably it'd be fun to do. Other things that I've thought about doing, I thought about making another zine and putting it inside books that I give away in the little free libraries. I thought that'd be fun. Or bookmarks. I've thought about bringing my zine or another zine to bookstores and seeing if they will take it, give it away there at the checkout. And I've also thought about trying to give talks at different places, but I don't feel like I have enough authority to do that yet. So right now the podcast is the level of authority I feel like I have. And I really like doing the podcast. Oh, I should have mentioned that. This podcast, I guess, is a form of marketing because gets my voice out on a different platform and a different medium. And it's my favorite thing that I do. So anyway, to return to the original thesis, which is there are no silver bullets. The important things are consistency and trying new things. I tried a bunch of new things, and podcasting I've found to be one of my favorite things to do. Even when I'm totally sick of marketing, I still like podcasting. And I find it really energizing and fun, and that makes it worthwhile to me. I mentioned in the very first podcast that I did that I really liked teaching writing when I was at University of New Hampshire, and I really do miss it. I miss that interaction and the immediate feedback. And so podcasting totally fills that niche for me. And so that really is the ideal situation when it comes to marketing, right? Something that both satisfies you and gets your name out there, builds your platform, gives you a credential or something that you can feel proud of. So if you haven't found that thing yet, I think that's fine. You should just keep looking for it, and hopefully you'll stumble upon something that suits you as a writer. I also wanted to say that it doesn't really matter how much time you have. Well, that's not true. It does matter how much time you have. How much you get done obviously depends on how much time you have. But for me, I don't worry about not having enough time to do marketing, because I just remind myself that the important thing is writing. So writing is always priority number one. And if I have time to write and do nothing else, that's fine, because writing is always a good thing to do if you want to be a writer, right? A writer is a person who writes. So if you're writing, then you're succeeding at being a writer. As far as marketing though, even if you only have say half an hour a week to do marketing or an hour a week to do marketing, you can still do something in that time. You don't have to feel bad that you can't do everything. You can still do something. Figuring that out also really helped me, because as the mother of a small kid and, just living in this is a busy stage in my life, and I don't have a lot of time for marketing. So reminding myself that even if I only get a couple things done, I don't get everything done, that's still worth it, is really helpful to me. It's really reassuring. So in case you would like to follow me on Twitter or Instagram, my handle in both places is Likes Oatmeal, LikeSoatmeal. Obviously I chose my handle on Twitter when it was cool to have a funny name. And I just decided to keep Instagram the same. Though it seems on Instagram that it's more acceptable to have a fun name. It doesn't have to be your full name. And here's my latest experiment in marketing. I'm selling my PDFs, my 2 ebooks, DIY Writing Retreat, DIY Chicklet, as PDFs on Etsy. like I said in the very beginning. So this is cool because now you can download them and print them. And especially for DIY Writing Retreat, you don't have to, the idea with DIY Writing Retreat is that you have this book. You don't need anything else besides a pen and paper or whatever it is you write with, and this guide, and you can go on a writing retreat. So before you had to maybe take your Kindle, but now you can just print out DIY Writing Retreat, and that means that you don't have to take the internet with you if you go on a writing retreat, which for me is really important to getting any writing done. So if you're interested in buying those, you can find my shop on Etsy. It's called Scratch Paper, and my username there is Pretty Nerdy. And I will have links to all this stuff in the show notes, which is probably the easiest way to find it. And just for fun, through the end of March, you can buy one, get one free. So you can get my two ebooks as PDFs for the price of one. You just use coupon code STPAT17, all caps. St. Pat 17. All caps. So yeah, thank you so much for listening. I so appreciate your going on this rambling journey through marketing land with me. Hope you'll tune in again next week. And if you have comments, questions, you disagree with me, I would love to hear all of it. You can tweet at me or comment on Instagram. I'm Likes Oatmeal there. You can also leave a comment in the show notes for this episode 18. And that's on my website at aliciadelosreyes.com. ALICIA, D as in dog, E, L as in llama, OSREYES.com. Thanks again for listening.